Perfect. Hi, my name is Scott Stirrett. I'm the founder and CEO of Venture for Canada. Venture for Canada is a national charity that accelerates the entrepreneurial journeys of Canadian university students and recent graduates through providing experiential learning opportunities at Canadian startups. And when we first started doing Venture for Canada in the first year, we literally asked hundreds of people to name an entrepreneurial role model who they admired. And probably 50% of the time, the answer, unfortunately, was Elon Musk, which is a big X. In listening to hundreds of these answers, I unfortunately never heard the answer RuPaul. So tonight, I'm going to share two main lessons people can take away from a great entrepreneurial inspiration. The first being the importance of being authentic, and the second about the importance of finding your tribe. So one of the reasons I think why RuPaul's Drag Race is such a popular show is that it preaches a message of self-love, that the queens who are on the show are people who have overcome significant hardship in their lives in many instances, who face significant amount of discrimination. And the show provides a platform on a national stage for the queens to celebrate who they are and this message of authenticity. And I think most people who are LGBT who've come out of the closet can appreciate that before you come out, there is so much energy that you spend pretending to be someone who you're not. And then when you come out of the closet, it frees up so much energy that you can spend helping other people or doing new things. So to quote RuPaul, and probably one of RuPaul's most famous phrases, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? And to also quote RuPaul, can I get an amen? Amen! Awesome. So the next slide is authenticity is a value that at Venture for Canada we also really value. So this is a failure haiku that we recently did as part of a team activity. So once in middle school, tried a somersault but failed, so did a log roll. And I won't describe the context of it, but just imagine the situation in your head. And I think failure haikus are a great activity for people to do as a team to celebrate your whole self, including the things that might have been a little humorous or things you might have failed. So if there's one takeaway in terms of a little way to embed the value of authenticity, it is through the doing failure haikus. So the second main lesson from RuPaul is the importance of finding your tribe and of community. And I think drag culture and RuPaul in general shows what that you bring together these queens, many who have faced, again, significant discrimination, who form this whole community that support one another. Sometimes can also throw a lot of shade at one another, but in many cases are a really close-knit kind of community. And at Venture for Canada, we really believe in the importance of not culture fit, but values fit. That you can create something really special when you bring together a diverse group of people who share common values. And that at the end of the day, culture fit is more just who has the same hobbies, versus values fit is about something far more fundamental. So when you're looking for different kinds of opportunities at both companies or about people to bring onto your team, at the end of the day, focus on the values. So at Venture for Canada, how do we try to embed values into our culture every day? The first is that we have a values document, which is in some ways a living, breathing document. And the first Venture for Canada values actually were created at our first ever Venture for Canada Fellow Training Camp, and we adjust them each year based on how the organization's evolving. But a lot of the time, organizational values can be things that just sit up on a wall and that people don't actually read or listen to. At Venture for Canada, we try to embed these values into our daily practices. So one of the ways we do that is through doing bi-weekly meetings that are focused on a specific value and how individuals are living that value with their work each day. A second point is that at our fellow graduation ceremony, fellows are given a recognition for specifically living different values of Venture for Canada as an organization. And this picture here is a great example of Venture for Canada fellows living their values, celebrating Pride at training camp last year. So last but not least, I just want to say in closing a note of appreciation for the millions of people who sacrificed for LGBT plus equality. I think probably 30 years ago, the idea of an LGBT plus themed tech event would have been pretty shocking. The only reason I'm here today, and I think any of the presenters are here today, are because of all of those people's sacrifice. So just want to say a special appreciation to them and appreciation to the people who are continuing to work to fight for LGBT plus technology or LGBT plus equality. So before I sashay away, I would be more than happy to answer any kind of questions. Thank you very much.
Questions. Jason just did some improv and decided we're going to stand up before the questions. But any questions? I'll start.
Okay.
Alex. How do you go about finding your tribe? Or what advice do you give to the students when they go to startup?
Well, first, if you're interested in startups, Venture for Canada is a great way to to find your tribe. But what I would say is, in general, going to communities like Venture for Canada, so be that like Venture Out, Next 36, I think seeking out a community of people, TKS for high school students, what you can do together is so much greater than what you can do alone. So at the end of the day, seek out communities that you feel have those shared values and try to participate and become a member of that community.
Thank you so much for the time and the presentation. Sorry for the food, guys. So my name is Yusuf. I also moved, I don't know if it's recently anymore, it's 6 months. And I'm a co-founder of a company. I went through growth hacking, fundraising, etc. Is there a way where I can help you guys? I'm not yet starting a job. I'll start in 2 months. So I have 2 months where I'm willing to help any startup, entrepreneurs, young people who want to work with finance, growth hacking, etc. So is there any way we can work with you and help you in your mission?
Yeah, I mean, Venture Canada, we're always looking for new employers to potentially hire, Venture for Canada fellows and interns, and then also if people want to apply for Venture for Canada, we always have ongoing applications for our various programs. So definitely happy to chat more offline.
One more and last question. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
I do.